This is Govs Radio.
Govs Radio.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. It is the Knockem Dead Comedy Radio Show coming at you live from Governor's Comedy Club, the legendary Governor's Comedy Club here in Levittown, New York, Nassau County, Long Island. Good to see you. It is June 4th?
4th.
June 4th, ladies and gentlemen.
4th.
4th. June 4th. The Knockem Dead Comedy Radio Show.
I have no explanation because I've been saying June 4th all morning.
GovsRadio.com. GovsRadio.com. Our website, Facebook, YouTube. That's where you can see our shows live, as well on your smart TVs, your Apple TVs, your Roku's, your Fire Sticks, all those smart devices, on an app called Boxcast. As our friend Ken Pichelle says, we on TV! That's right. We on TV. Govs Comedy Club Radio. GovsRadio.com. Knockem Dead Comedy Radio Show. Thanks for joining us. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing good. Nice to see you. I saw Charles Goonan is watching, Joe Staz, Kent Pichelle, Daniel Asher, Joan Krupe Asher. I saw Charles Goonan's name there somewhere. Forgive me if I missed you. Andy Plajanos, Felix. Good morning, everybody. Good to see you. Hope you enjoyed Eric and Danielle yesterday. And speaking of our shows,
what?
I hope you guys have been enjoying our Quarantine Life shows. Yesterday, our very own Mike O'Toole, the guy that is, for the most part, responsible for putting together the Quarantine Life shows. He was on yesterday, did a super job as he was running some errands, delivering some beer to some friends.
In the rain, right?
In the rain. But I thought it was the funniest thing. I just thought it was so funny. Every time Mike is driving and he's talking, and every once in a while, behind him in the back seat, you just saw his 5-year-old son peek his head out from behind Mike's shoulder and then peek his head back in. I was dying every time that this kid, and then he would go back behind his dad. I thought that was the funniest thing. I kept cracking up.
Yeah, that's cute.
And then he said at one point Mike was out of the car getting stuff to bring over to his the Wirt show every other Monday night here on Govs Radio. He went to his co-host's house, Pete, to bring him some beer. And he asked his son to get him something, to grab something for him. And Mike looks into the camera and he goes, that's why we have kids, right? Everybody to help us out with stuff. And the kid goes, yes, I'm a great helper to my daddy.
Aww.
I thought that was the coolest thing.
That's so cute.
But the point of the Quarantine Life shows is to show our hosts and our extended family here at Govs Radio, is to show you guys how we're just spending our time during Quarantine Life, what our life is like during quarantine. And we've had some great shows. You've had guys like Andy Plajanos playing his guitar. And
accordion.
Getting creative. Because during Quarantine Life, he's been able to do that. He's had the time to get the juices flowing, come up with some creative ideas. You've had us where we just show, a birthday parade. You've had people just, talking about what they're doing during quarantine. You have Danielle who just, who sings because she loves to sing.
The Met Stadium, that was good.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. That was fun. But the reason I'm bringing all this up is because on Tuesday, you and I haven't been on since. So on Tuesday's Quarantine Life, I guess you got to see a little behind the scenes of what goes on
Felix
during for Govs Radio during Quarantine Life.
I thought you meant going forward like next Tuesday. I'm like, who's scheduled next Tuesday?
We're so appreciative of all the hosts, all the shows here, because with the Sallie and I are the only ones that come in here. So everybody else, they're doing their shows from their phones, from their iPads, however.
They're Zooming.
Using Zoom, using a couple of different programs that we use so that we can keep on streaming to all of our different platforms. And again, Mike O'Toole is the genius behind all that. But it still takes a lot on the host end. Mike, he's the genius. He's setting up the programs and whatnot, but he's not at the hosts' houses, setting up what they got to do on their end. So hats off to all the hosts, but it's not always the easiest of process.
Yeah,
it's not always the easiest thing to do.
That can't be right.
We have no control over the host's internet connection at their house, their internet strength. So sometimes things can get choppy. Or sometimes if you're trying to work one program that handles streaming while using Zoom so you can talk to somebody, things can get tricky.
Well, even Mike yesterday, it was a little sketchy because he's driving, in the car in the rain, and his Wi-Fi on his phone was like popping in and out. It's not the easiest thing for anyone. We're all trying to do the best that we can.
So. Right. So when you have a program that you're using for streaming, and then you try to bring something like a Zoom in, and you're trying to basically run two programs at the same time, it's not easy. As you saw on Tuesday, the Tuesday show was not a dark screen in support of the blackout movement.
Yeah.
Although
that's nice. Maybe a higher being made it a blackout moment because it needed to be. I didn't think about that.
Sallie's high. So what you got to see was Felix having some technical difficulties. You got to hear Sallie and I in the background as he was on the phone with us, and the three of us are trying to figure out what in the world was going on. Our apologies to you guys. Our apologies to Felix because we never got it going. Even Mike himself, he wasn't really sure what the actual issue was, and it actually one of the viewers. A nice guy named Rob, I believe his name was, or was it Steve, or Bill, or Joe? No, I think it was Rob. He actually stepped up and gave Felix his phone number and said, "Call me. I think I know what the problem is." Felix thinks that it's fixed. Not really sure. We'll find out today because Felix comes on at 12:30.
Yeah, Felix is just doing Boxcast though, right? So,
that's right.
Yeah, he's fine. Yeah, it'll be fine today.
So it'll work today, yeah. So Felix, Iron Chef, COVID-19, that's today at 12:30. Quarantine Life at 2:15. Who's doing Quarantine Life today?
Today is Thursday, right?
Yeah. All right.
remember.
We're very excited. So anyway, thank you for...
Isn't it Felix again?
Felix is doing... No, he did Quarantine Life on Tuesday. That was the whole thing.
Yeah, I know, but hold on. Anyway, keep going.
Okay, good.
I'll find out by the end of the show.
So our apologies. We thank you for bearing with us as we try to work through these glitches and work through this, doing the best we can during this quarantine time. Even major networks, CBS, ABC, even their, people are,
Do you feel like so guilty about this or something? Like, what's going on? It's like 10 minutes of like feeling bad. Like, it just happens, It's like every show has like
10
stuff.
minutes. Did I started saying this right at 11 o'clock?
We started at like 7 in the morning.
We're very excited today because
Steve K.
Steve of Steve Squared doing Quarantine Life today. Very nice.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
We're very...
He uses OBS, so sorry, I still...
What?
No, go ahead. I was just saying he uses OBS, so we'll see if it works.
Right, but nobody knows what we're talking about. So. Get my face. We're very excited. Neil Rubenstein will be on that screen with us in a little while, about, around 11:30 or so. Neil Rubenstein, very, 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 very funny comedian, smart comedian, one of our favorites, one of our regulars. Check him out, Neil Rubenstein. Neil Reviews It? Is that what it's called on YouTube? Neil Reviews It?
Yeah.
Neil Rubenstein, go to YouTube and you can see him where he reviews movies. He does stand-up all over. So great guy. Very excited that he's going to hang with us today. All right. So, should I do the announcements? Who sings your Knockem Dead theme song? Says Charles Goonan. Pine Street is the name of the band. They're a local band. They're out of Massapequa. They wrote and performed the song. They actually came in here once a long time ago and performed it live as well. I honestly don't think they're together anymore. They have two guys from Pine Street now have another band. Forgive me, I can't remember the name of it. But I'm not even sure if they're out and playing. Right, they were still kind of planning things, setting the new band up with new members and stuff. The name is bugging me. I can't remember what they're called now. But I'm pretty sure they got rid of Pine Street altogether, and they're calling themselves something else. But that's who performed it. Pine Street. That's Greg DiFilippo's watching. So Charles was asking that. Mike's son was adorable, says Danielle. Poor Felix, yes, absolutely. Tina's watching. Neil's watching. I'm demonstrating Bananas Foster today. What does that mean?
It's a dessert.
That's what it's actually called? Banana Foster?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I've never heard of it.
Like Boston cream pie. It's like something like that.
Oh. All right. So, all right. Well, I guess, are we getting into what's happening around us at all? Or I guess we'll probably wait for Neil on that, right? Because I'm sure Neil has a lot to say about that.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I thought I was just waiting because you said you were going to do announcements. So
that's all right. So we are doing that. Okay. All right. Give me a second. Let me get them. Let's see. All right. So, whoops, that's not the right one. Governors. There we go. Hey, Governor's Comedy Club and Govs Radio would like to thank our listeners, both old and new, and remind you that all three Governor's Comedy Clubs will be open as soon as guidelines from the government allow us to. In the meantime, we have cleaned and sanitized each club and put measures in place such as paper menus, social distancing of tables, and reduced capacity to assure the safety of our employees and guests. They even painted the outside because fresh paint keeps us safe and healthy. Right now, we are in a pandemic. People and businesses are dying until they reopen fully, and even after that, it's going to take some time. We should be embracing all Long Island businesses that we know are open and struggling. If you're one of those businesses, please leave us a message with hours of operation and specific instructions like curbside deliveries or website orders on our email. Please email us here on our Facebook page or govsradio@optimum.net. Thank you and be safe. Just like our friends, All Music in Plainview, 516-433-6969. They're open Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 12 to 5 by appointment, curbside pickup, curbside delivery. 433-6969. Give a shout out to Guy and support local businesses. Organic Tequila, One with Life Organic Tequila, or OWL. One with Life Organic Tequila. They're local tequila, a great brand. Check out their website. They're also delivering as well. And, of course, the Roslyn Social, our friends at Roslyn Social, located in the heart of Roslyn Village at 1363 Old Northern Boulevard. Hoping everyone is staying safe out there through these difficult times. To try and help ease you and your family through, we are open for takeout, curbside pickup, delivery, and on your favorite food service apps. Give us a call at 516-801-4963, 516-801-4963, and say hi to Nick. Hi, Nick. Again, we hope you're all staying safe, and we certainly look forward to serving you in person. Our famous cocktails and dessert are available to go as well. Thank you from Roslyn Social, North Shore's premier rooftop lounge. Please check out our to-go curbside menu. And I think, and don't forget, here at Govs Radio, don't forget, teespring.com. You saw the commercial, right? It was on? Mm-hmm. Teespring.com to get your favorite Govs Radio swag. You can get your favorite Govs Radio show on the back of your mugs. You can get T-shirts, you get hats, you get socks, all sorts of cool stuff. The money is going towards running the station and covering some costs and redoing the studio that we're going to do this summer. And, of course, if you send us a photo of yourself with your favorite Gov swag, you could get yourself free passes to one of the 3 Governors Comedy Clubs when they reopen. So check out teespring.com and send us your photos with the swag. The swag.
Want to hear something weird?
I would love to hear something weird.
So we have Felix making Banana Foster today.
That is weird.
And what we didn't know is that Neil, he actually works as a DJ, and his name just happens to be DJ Banana Foster.
What?
It's in writing.
He's making that up.
You think? I don't know.
I don't think much, no. But
yeah.
Gina Conjemi Coffin is watching. Joe Staz, Aaron Milos. Yes, my shirt does say world's best farter. Oh, father. We're getting a call, and I think this is a good one. So let's take this.
Okay.
You're live on the Knockem Dead Comedy Radio Show. Who's this?
Hello?
Yay.
Hello, hi, hello. I just thought of something kind of funny, and I was thinking of, what if you guys got a third host, and the third host was named Raphael, and then you could be Sallie, Tony, Raphael.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Sallie actually,
you know what I mean?
She actually has a dog. She has a dog named Jesse. So every time, there's a lot of that Raphael talk at the Sallie O'Neill house quite often.
I'll tell you what, that's just the kind of stuff that I'm just thinking of that stuff all the time. That kind of stuff's just running through my head. It's crazy. That's the life of a comedian, though. How are you guys?
Doing all right. You never stop. You're always thinking. How you doing? You hanging in there all right?
I'm hanging in there all right. I want to say to all of your fans and the listeners and stuff, that Michael, I support those protesters, and I have to say I do understand that. Of course, the destruction of property and violence is something people don't like to see, but you have to understand why people would feel the need to escalate something like that. Those types of protests, when their peaceful protests have been basically shunned and ignored. So I think I do understand and stand in solidarity with them. And I would just say to anyone who maybe gets all their news, you have to keep in mind that the police are the only official government employees. So they're the only ones that officially are giving information to the news station. So if you want to sort of see a balanced view, you want to get online and make sure you watch some videos of sort of how the police have escalated a lot of the violence. And just get a balanced view of it, because it's difficult to do so otherwise. But anyways, you probably don't want me to hear stuff like that. You probably want to hear a stupid joke, right?
We want to hear anything you have to say.
Well, yeah, I feel like sometimes, honestly, because I know that, like, my mom, for example, she's not on social media, so she thinks that, like, that there's all these looters and all this violence happening and there's all these people escalating stuff, and that you don't really see any of the footage of the police assaulting people who are being peaceful. And I think it's good to get a balanced view of it. That's all.
Yeah, but having said that, and you want to talk about balance, I think it's the other way too. A peaceful protest is great and welcomed, but you have people on the other side too that are attacking the poor police because they're all getting. Just like it's all, just like we talk about racial divide. I mean, it's the same thing. All policemen are being blamed for a minority who are bad cops.
Yeah. I saw an interesting take from a person of color on that very subject, and I won't argue with you on it because I think that, you're entitled to your opinion. I don't have to agree with it, but I will say it says if there's 10,000 good cops and 10 bad cops, and the 10,000 good cops don't say anything about the 10 bad cops, then you have 10,010 bad cops. Yeah. And that's all. Okay. And that's sort of a different perspective on it, that, allowing those people to continue to act that way and shield them from anything, that it means that you're not necessarily a great cop, and it could potentially be a systemic issue within these police forces, and potentially even further than that, speak to the psychology of someone who would want to become a police officer. Because, Tony, if you really want to serve and protect the community, and that was what your goal was with your job, I would think myself you would become a EMT or a firefighter, not a police officer. I think there's something else going on in the brain of a lot of those people who want to become police officers, and it's a power thing, and I think it is a little bit scary, and I think you do need to sort of look at the police state that is happening at this time in America, and the militarization of the police as well. I don't think it does anything to stop crime. I think it actually escalates tensions, and I think it actually does nothing but negative stuff for the community at large. And I think that's why you see people speaking about defunding the police and having that money dispersed to community policing and to build the communities in more positive ways. But that's just a perspective on it. Let me tell one of these dumb jokes.
Okay, that's fine. Go ahead.
Okay, so this, I gotta say, I don't have any explanation for this particular joke because it's just really bad. Okay, so this is, and I don't write any jokes about politics because my joke persona is a coward and I don't speak about politics. So this is the jokes I'm writing one day ago. The 7th Mission Impossible movie will start filming again in September. They're making some changes for the coronavirus. Tom Cruise's mission is to get the last roll of toilet paper in a Piggly Wiggly. I wrote that joke yesterday.
Wow.
Can you imagine with everything that's happening? And I wrote that joke. What is going on in my dumb brain? Thank you. I love you guys. We might not agree on everything. I just wanted to get my point of view out there. I appreciate you allowing me to say that. And I love you guys, and you guys have a wonderful day.
You too, pal. Thanks.
All right, Michael. Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye. Wow. All right. That was interesting. I don't know if I necessarily completely disagree with him anyway. First off, thank you for the call, Michael. Love the joke.
It's a rough week. It's just a really rough week, and I mean, I hate that there's even sides. I hate that people would be like, well, another way to look at it is this, or another way to look at it that. I mean, it just really comes down to that asshole cop shouldn't have done that, and the other people, should have stopped him. Well, and that's why they've all, been arrested and charged. And
right.
So, and that really is all it is. And then everything else after that, like, what Michael said or what other people are saying, it's all just like bits and pieces of what's going on this week because of what happened in that instance. And you can't really say in a long blanket form that everyone who grows up and wants to be a cop has a power trip, because like my dad was a sergeant in Queens forever, and he got into it because he graduated from high school. He didn't go to college. It was a poor Irish family, and he was like sixth out of the 6 kids they had, and They didn't have anything, and it was at the end of like World War II, and he didn't even get to go into World War II. His older brothers did, and he never wanted to be a cop. He never wanted to do anything like that. He worked for the electric company, and the electric company kept laying him off, and then he worked for another industry, and they kept laying him off. And it was the one job that if he took the police test, he would be able to raise his family, and if you met him, you would never know that he was like, he didn't have that like cop feel about him. He was just thrilled not to be laid off, and he did a really great job. And that I've met a lot of the people that, because he was a sergeant, so he had people that he would assign to certain things, and they all loved him. And then my stepsisters got into it for kind of the same reason. Like, what a great thing to have a job and have a pension afterwards, and you serve the public, and you just do the best job that you can. And, like I said last week, like my stepsister said, like, no one hates bad cops more than good cops. So you can't say that people, and I know that wasn't what Michael's whole thing was. It's just, I guess the problem that I'm having with this week is like we keep taking our eye off the ball. It really is just what happened and how we can use a horrible, horrible situation to see things like differently and try to do better. Everyone needs to do better.
All right. First off, very well said.
Thank you.
I want to go back a little bit. I'm reading the comments here, and Felix, I don't want to come down on you, but I think that's part of the problem. You're calling him a jerk. You're calling him an idiot. That's where the problem starts right there. We have to listen to each other. We have to respect each other's opinion, like he said. We all have a right to voice our opinions. And we should be listening to each other. There should be dialogue, nice dialogue, to fix things, not name calling, not finger pointing, and definitely not violence. I hear, and I heard a lot of what he said. I do think, though, while I agree there is that problem. Maybe that there are people who feel like they're in power and they're taking advantage of that. And it's not just cops. It's a whole wide spectrum of different occupations. But I still feel that this whole thing is still making all cops look bad, which I completely disagree with.
Not all cops. Right.
I mean,
but
I do feel it. I do agree with him that if a cop sees something, even if it's another cop, I do feel they have to speak up. There can't be this mentality of, it stays in house or we turn the other way, because these guys, it becomes this. It becomes cops who think they're above the law and unfortunately pull something like this. Now, so I can understand peaceful protests, and we've talked about it, all for peaceful protesting. You're not going to justify, at least I'm never going to agree or, in my eyes, be justify the opinion that looting and rioting and this violence should happen. And I don't think that's what he was necessarily saying, but I feel it's both sides. I mean, there's plenty of people that want to just go out and have a peaceful protest and walk the streets and make their point who aren't looting. You got plenty of great cops who look bad right now because of some bad cops. And even here, in fact, that's what I was referring to earlier. We have that right here in our neck of the woods, just the past 2 or 3 nights. Here on the south shore of Nassau County, pretty much directly south of us, a town called Merrick and Belmore. There's been some peaceful demonstrations. There's been a lot of people coming out to turn the protesters away, and they've been clashing a little bit. And now even that, depending on who you're talking to or where you're looking, some people are saying these protests were completely peaceful. Some are saying that it wasn't. There are people that are judging the people who came against the protesters. How dare you try to take away their right to protest? They're not trying to take away their right to protest. They're trying to just stop the violence that they think could be coming. It's all just completely mixed up. And I just got to be honest too. I don't understand why they're protesting. I got to be honest. Well, no, hear me out. The first cop was charged. Now the other 3 that also had their knees down on this poor George Floyd. They've all been arrested. It's not being ignored. Yes, I understand there's a racial problem. There's a problem with cops who take advantage of their positions. I get all that. But action is being taken. It's not you would if nobody was doing anything about it, wouldn't that be what you're protesting? Why are you protesting when action is being taken? It's not like nobody turned their back on this. The powers that be have arrested these men. These men are going to be punished. These men are going to serve time for what they did. So are they
First of all, that just came about. Like now they're being charged. So to say that you don't understand why they're protesting, I don't understand how you don't understand why they're protesting.
That's not entirely true. The first cop was arrested immediately, or the next day.
Right. And so the reason why they're protesting is because it's not the first time, it won't be the last time, and
I understand
and so there's
that.
a reason. They have a reason for it. So I don't understand why you don't understand. I mean, I wish it wasn't. I wish, everyone, those guys got locked up and everyone was like, okay, good, something's being done. Let's try to
Right. That's my point.
Move forward in a better way and learn. And one of the things that Michael was saying is, don't get your information from this social media crazy land. Like get it from good sources because it may not even be true. I was reading but things that you can see as true is Amazon was saying how hopeful they are because they're you can't imagine all the books all the books that are one of the highest selling books in the last week are books on learning about racism. Thank you. Isn't that an amazing
That's
thing?
fantastic.
So things like that, I think it's a beautiful thing.
No, right. But my point is, I guess what I'm saying is why are people against each other? Nobody's
right.
We're all in agreement.
We all should be exactly on the same page to make this better.
Everybody's in agreement that these cops were dead to rights wrong. What they did was a crime. These guys are murderers. So why aren't the police and protesters marching together?
Right.
They're all just trying to stop the violence. That's all this is. People are trying to stop the violence. They have misplaced anger. The looting and burning things down, that's not a protest. Those are thugs who are damaging their communities and hurting each other. And in fact, I posted it on my personal Facebook page the other day, pictures of nice pictures of peaceful protests where cops are standing together with protesters. Cops are taking a knee. These things are happening. We're not seeing enough of that. So people are scared. People are mad. And instead, people are clashing. Meanwhile, everybody's in agreement that what they did was wrong. I don't know if I'm making myself clear here or not, but that's...
Well, why don't we get Neil on the line and he can help. How's that?
All right. Well, before you do that, I wanted to just show one thing on the screen. Because I wanted to show you guys that help is on the way. If I can get it. Oh, okay, I got it. Wait till you see what I got here. Help is on the way, ladies and gentlemen. And everything's going to be okay. There he is. He's gassing up.
Okay, let me get him.
He's gassing up and he's going to save our asses.
Hold on.
Oh, okay. I didn't know what you were doing.
Yeah.
He's gassing up. He's getting ready. He's going to come save us.
That's great.
Everything's going to be all right.
On the bottom, Gotham. Oh, that's
Gotham.
funny.
Everything is going to be okay. This is not the first time we've had violent protests. This is not the first time there's been unrest. Things are going to get better. Here in New York State, restaurants in the 7 regions that have already entered Phase 2 can now reopen for outdoor dining beginning today. Beginning today, June 4th. Right? Today's the 4th.
Okay, yeah.
Yes?
It's the 4th.
It's right. Starting today, and I know Long Island, we're almost up to Phase 2, so we're going to have outdoor dining soon. We're going to enjoy this summer, damn it. Things are going to cool off during the heat. Things are going to be okay. We're getting Neil Rubenstein on the phone. Very funny comedian, great guy. Oh, I thought you took over the...
No, I have to get him on first before I do that.
Yeah, you do. All right, we're Sallie's reaching out to Neil Rubenstein, very funny actor, comedian rather. Well, he acts a little bit too.
Does he?
Sure.
Oh, yeah. He does those videos that are really funny.
Him and, what was it, Calcagno? It's hot in here, man. Where is he?
I don't know. Let me see. Okay.
Well, there you go. On the screen is... Oh, all right. There you see a picture of Sally's home screen.
Yeah, sorry. I have to do this again.
All right, well, all right. So while you're doing that, yeah, it's been a big thing around here. About like Sallie mentioned, who do you listen to? What do you believe? So many different posts and so many different people talking about whether these protests have been violent or not.
Island, we're almost up to phase 2, so we're going to have outdoor. So we're going to enjoy this summer. Damn it, things are going to cool off during the heat.
He looks like he wants to beat somebody up.
Things are going to be okay.
No, he doesn't. He
Yeah,
doesn't look
Neil
like he's going to beat somebody up.
He's
Very funny, great guy.
He's just dying to say something. Look at him.
Who? Me?
Yeah, you.
Hello,
Nah, I got nothing
Neil.
to say.
How are you?
He has nothing to say. That would be wild.
I
Let's
got
just
nothing to say.
let's just
Sally's
stare at each other for the next
reaching
25
out.
minutes.
Neil Rubenstein, very funny.
Hey,
Oh, what's that? What's going on? How do I? Oh, there we are.
you're on. Everything's good.
I get confused. Technology confuses me.
You are not the only one.
Hey, I'm going to quote Neil Rubenstein.
Uh-oh.
Oh no!
The best thing I've heard all day. Officers in the George Floyd murder have been all charged. Now we can all get haircuts and go bowling.
Yeah, that was very funny. I
That
saw
just
that
sums
too.
it up right there, ladies and gentlemen. That's all we need to know. And that's just that's it. That's all I got.
Yeah.
How are you,
that's it.
Paul?
I'm good, man. Yeah, none of my no one I know is getting murdered by the police. So I'm all right,
Well, that's always a good thing. Is that
I
going to
don't
be
know.
is that going to be how it is from now on? Like when you see somebody, hey, how you doing? Instead of how you doing, how you feeling, it's hey, anybody you know been murdered by a cop today?
That might be how it has to be. I don't know. I don't know, man. This whole thing. I don't know, man. I never thought that being anti-racist was like a controversial stance.
I know.
Right.
Isn't it
That's
nuts?
the point I'm trying to make. Right.
That was your point?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Everybody's
That was not clear, Tony.
Jesus. Can you start from the beginning?
Yeah, you want to start over?
I'm trying to kill an hour here, man.
We didn't get that.
Well, you killed it.
Literally.
I don't understand the protest. Like, right there in the chance.
Yeah.
It's right there in the chance. You
And
just gotta.
his like artificial leg is the leg that's next to me, so I can't even like pinch him and be like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Thought-provoking, conversation-sparking content. Damn it.
I felt
my
like
God.
cutting in and going, "He actually believes opposite."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so rough. And I just feel like no one should be on any other side other than what the fuck,
No. Look, those guys. All right. I don't even know, man. I kind of like don't want to get into it, and like like. You feel
Yeah,
like
see, now you're in my shoes, man. You're stumbling all over the place, too.
No.
Or my shoe.
It's nuanced. You know what I mean? Like, look, like off the bat, I want to be like, this is ridiculous. Like, how could you feel any other way? But should I move the light in the way? I don't know.
Yeah, there you go.
Is that better?
Oh, actually, yeah, that's better,
Like-
yeah.
Like, on one hand, I want to just be like, how can you feel any way other than this way, But there are, like, nuanced things like this, so
But
Those
the
guys-
only
listen,
reason
those-
that they're like little nuances is because everyone tries to like get off topic. Like, just keep your eye on the ball on what happened. Like, every time everyone starts making it into, remember the looting in 1985? Like, just stop. It was awful, and let's do better. You know?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. There's a lot of topic changing, and also like we only see our point of view because we've cultivated our echo chamber, the Facebook algorithm, for 14 years or whatever it is. So we only see what we want to see because that's all we want to see.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, that made sense. I got you. Yep.
So like these guys who are like, well, it's all looting and rioting and it's like, well, because that's what Facebook and your social media networks are showing you, because you blocked your cousin who is a
different
liberal.
opinion. Yeah, who had a different
You
opinion.
blocked him in 2016.
I
So-
never block someone for that reason. It's
I
a
block
great
people all the time for that
point.
reason, but
I don't.
I keep my network open to a lot of lunatics, so I hear like a lot of like craziness. But like, yeah, like my feed is all cops beating up people who are being peaceful and white people looting. You know what I mean? Because that's what I'm being shown. Because that's what, and I know that it's not just that, but like. The white lady walking out of Cheesecake Factory with a cheesecake on TV, and the news reporter's like, I wonder how she got that. It's like, no, that's looting.
Right.
That's
Absolutely right.
looting.
Yeah, that was Rich Rader brought that up on his show the other night. This
so
woman was
funny.
just not even in a box, right? She's just carrying this stupid
Cheesecake, just out. Just a whole cheesecake, her and her buddy are just walking. And there was that one. White
Cheesecakes are hard to make. I understand.
Yeah.
There's a lot to it. A lot of ingredients.
There was that lady leaving Saks Fifth Avenue with like a bunch of bags, and the news reporter's like, "Well, I hope she didn't steal that. Oh, you hope she didn't steal that stuff?"
She just happened to go shopping when no one else can go shopping right now.
So it's like, so you see that stuff, and then I hear like some like redneck from Merrick be like, "It's thugs."
Yeah.
No, it's like, yo, man, like just use like a little bit of subtlety, man. Like everything doesn't have to be a baseball bat to the back of the head, you know?
Well, right, and that's one of the things I was trying to say was that, like the poor guy in Merrick, these people they were under the impression that people were coming in to loot and cause destruction.
Yo, that anti-protester thing in Merrick, like I watched that video a lot, like to try and like
Make sense of it.
yeah, because yo, they're just racists. That was all that was. Go west? What is that? Come on. Go back to Freeport.
And how come they
All
were
the white
all
Long Islanders that are walking towards you, you're telling them to go back to Freeport.
See,
What is that? What are you saying?
yeah, all right. I didn't,
See what you're saying?
but I didn't take it that way. I thought it was just
Oh.
trying to be devil's advocate, man.
You didn't see that fucking Tartoots at the end of the video getting interviewed, and he's like, "Yeah, I just, we're just trying to protect our neighborhood." And the guy's like, "Well, what about the cops?" He's like, "Yeah, well, it's like, the cops are protecting your neighborhood. You're there to scream racial slurs, you fucking gabagool."
And it's just because it was a crowd too. Like if they were really trying to like protect people from coming into their neighborhood, you think they're gonna come in on like Merrick Road? You know,
Oh, come
you
on.
know, it's like they're gonna come in all side
Did you see
streets.
Did you see the Philly one?
No.
There was a thing in Philly where they were going into Fishtown, and it was like 6 Irish Americans with bats, and they're like, "You're not coming into our neighborhood," and
I did see that. Yeah.
and snatching a sign from a white lady, like a 4'8" white lady is in the front holding a sign, and he like grabs it and shakes the bat at her. It's like, yo, dude, let the cops be like, it's just so obvious. You're just racist. Like, you're not protecting your neighborhood from looters. and that's the other thing that makes me absolutely crazy is all of a sudden these people care about small businesses.
Yeah, I know. I saw that post.
The past 2.5 months. The past 2.5 months, I'm getting ridiculed that I want to get a haircut. You know what I mean? It's like, no, I want business to open up.
Right.
Now you're worried about business. Now you're worried about small businesses. For 2.5 months, these people have been losing their livelihoods. But now, because it's a black issue, you gotta come on. It's just think about what you're saying when you say the things you say. That's all. Just think about it. I know there's layers. I know the looting and the blah blah blah. I know. I get it. But you can't, dude. For 2.5 months, all you did was make fun of people for them wanting to open up small businesses. Stay home. You're killing old ladies. Oh, when it was old ladies, you were worried about them? But now that it's black dudes, you're like a lot less concerned? I don't know, man. That's, look, you're entitled to your thing, but I just never thought racism would be like a controversial topic. I didn't get it.
Yeah, it is. It's rough. Yeah.
I will say, like, with protests in 2020 is a little bit like a college fair. You know? Like, it's just like going around to the booths. It's like, well, what are you guys? And they're like, oh, we're COVID's a hoax. You're like, okay, good luck with that. Yeah, what are you guys doing? Like, oh, we're Black Lives Matters. Okay, cool. And then, so you guys are Blue Lives Matters? No, we're just anti-Black Lives Matter.
Oh, man.
Like, that's an interesting take, University of America. Like, what's that group of straight white ladies? Like, oh, that's gay pride. Like, oh, it's June? I didn't realize.
Yeah. Gay Pride Month.
It's crazy to me, man. This whole thing is crazy. Wait, you're against racism? How dare you?
Yeah,
That's
what bothers me. Is like I don't
black dudes murdered.
I don't know how we get away from that.
Also,
You know?
have an uncle who's a cop. All right, my bad.
My bad. Well, but that's the point I was trying to make. Was it's all
You were not doing a good job.
well, thank you for summing it up, though, because that's what I was trying to say. Was it's all everybody's in agreement, but everybody's just so full of fear and rage that they're all clashing.
Yeah. I saw that Merrick stuff, man. I was heartbroken, man. I can't like I know we're in a red state like out here, but to just be like, they're barely even hiding it, man. Like, it's just,
maybe I don't know. If I'm being naive, but same thing. I'm not going to sit here and say everybody in Merrick is a racist or everybody that was there.
No, just that crowd of people.
But even that, not even that whole crowd. Some people were just worried about their neighborhood. One guy, I can't remember. You mentioned the small businesses. One guy I saw was a business owner. He owned a business in that area. And this poor guy's just had enough. He's been shut down with the virus for months, definitely hitting a financial strain.
Yeah.
Now he's worried about the fear of his place being destroyed. So you can understand his anger.
No,
I'm not saying he's got to go at a protester.
But his anger, right, but his anger, exactly what you said. He's taking 3 months of being angry at the government, and he's taking it out on what really is a peaceful movement.
Well, right, but he was being peaceful too. He was just voicing his opinion. Don't come in here and wreck my place. He wasn't swinging a bat.
Okay, but there was a lot of bat swinging, and there was a lot of...
Absolutely. But that's my point. We can't... You can't take a whole group of people and place that label. Whether it's a cop or whether it's a group of protesters, it's all of it.
But they got to keep that same energy. If you're not blaming all cops for bad cops, you can't blame all peaceful protesters for looters. And I see a lot of that, even in the comments today, even in your comments today. Some ladies like, it's just an excuse to loot. It's like, really? This whole thing is just an excuse to loot? You can't possibly really believe that. You can't.
Right.
Millions of people are out there protesting peacefully.
Right.
They're not all. Believe me, if they were all looting, it would be a much. the conversation would definitely be different.
So is it more like, I guess it goes back to what you said before, things like Facebook, choosing where to look, because again, there's plenty of peaceful protests out there that we're just not hearing about it.
But that's the thing. Like, I think they said yesterday, 150 cities had protests.
Peaceful.
In general, in general.
Okay.
But how many were violent? You know what I mean? Like, you definitely heard about all the violent ones. Like, we all heard about Minneapolis when they set the precinct on fire. And to be frank, like, that's the move. You know what I mean? Like, all right, Target and all that, I don't know. But your problems with the Minneapolis Police Department and you set the police department on fire? I'm not defending it, but...
Yeah, but you're just saying if there's like a place to set on fire,
that's a direct correlation.
Because it doesn't make sense. Like if you
Donald Trump, you set Mar-a-Lago on fire, or golf courses in general.
Right. And you're right. We're not seeing all the great things that are going on right now. And like, what do you think? You think now that everyone's been charged, it'll
because well, think about it this way. Like, I shouldn't say think about it this way because I don't know what the fuck I'm about to say. I feel like so we took 4 days of protests for those cops to finally get charged.
Yeah.
Originally, they said it was going to be months-long investigation, but then these protests sped that up.
Right.
Yeah.
So we've all seen it before, where the cops got charged and then they got off, and then there were more riots after that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's absolutely happened.
This isn't all about George Floyd. This is about. I mean, if you saw Crump's speech yesterday, where he listed the names of all the black people that were killed by cops, it was a long list.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's what these people are. That's what's got these people's panties in a bunch. You know what I mean? Not George Floyd. Like, yeah, George Floyd was the last of the things, but there's been a lot of things.
And like I said, there's been a lot of things, and then it's not. I think it's not going to be much better. Like, I think that's the fear, is that it's not going to change that much. I think that's what people are sick of, is that, another 6 months goes on and, something else happens. So I think that's the fear.
Right.
And I think that's what kind of makes things last a little bit longer. I mean, I
think this one's a little different. Like, I like it. That this one's a little different, and I don't know if it's different because of the pandemic and no one's got anything else to do with themselves, but it does feel a little different this time.
I agree with that. I do think because of with the virus, people are just so aggravated that it's a lot. Some of this is misplaced anger, where people are just so frustrated, and now this is where they're just letting it out.
Look, it's a good place to let out the anger. You're the system needs a little bit of an overhaul. I mean, I don't want to give my true feelings because you guys all think I'm insane, but I will say that the system does need a tweak or two, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone can really argue with that,
I don't think anyone can argue with that. Like I said, I think police officers are like, what the heck?
Cops are desensitized.
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 No, incentivized.
Oh.
they're de-incentivized from ratting out other cops.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Look, when you saw that video, that wasn't the first time those cops held off
Yeah, I know.
civilians while another cop did something shady. That's definitely those were trained people in an organized fashion. So to think, yeah,
I know,
that
it just
bad
disgusts
news.
me. I know.
That's
Really
bad
bad.
news. Those guys are bad news.
Yeah, really bad.
I don't know. But I'm
And-
a little hard cook, so.
A lot of the comments are coming in pointing out, too, that these people, whether it's protesters or the people protesting the protesters, they're coming from other places, too, which makes a particular area look bad. Andy Plagianos even said, and it'll stay in people's brains now. Merrick, for a while, will have this stigma now for being the place that, as a racist place that we're sending those people back to Freeport. And that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate.
The thing that I saw a funny thing. Well, it's not funny. It's sad. It's super sad. So this very sad thing that I found funny. They were talking about the protests in Mastic, and the red state guy was like, well, then what they're not reporting is all the injuries and the arrests that were made. It wasn't a peaceful protest. Other cops have to be called in. But then, like, a little bit of Googling, it's like, yeah, one anti-Black Lives Matters lady was pregnant and she fell and she was hospitalized. And there were two death warrants issued. But, like, 2 death warrants issued in Mastic, that's like a win for those guys.
Yeah.
That's like the least they have to do.
Right.
It's a slow day.
And same thing with Merrick. Some people were saying that last night it was peaceful. Others are saying, no, it did get violent. So supposedly there was a truck driver attacked. I've seen still photos, what appear to be people running at this truck. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but I didn't see actual footage either that it did happen. And then one person did say, yeah, a window was broken, but it had nothing to do with the protests. A car had an accident, and the window got broken.
Yeah.
So,
There's a lot of that stuff.
you don't know. Again, the social media. You don't know where to look. You don't know what's real.
There's cameras everywhere.
And you still don't know what's real.
Well, yeah, that's true. But if someone says something, I immediately am like, show me the photos. Show me the video, because everyone's got the video.
Right.
Everything that I say, like, every time I'm like, well, I saw a white kid with a skateboard breaking windows. I saw an undercover cop dressed in all black breaking the autos on windows. I saw that because I saw video. I don't know if it's true, staged, whatever, blah, blah.
Right.
George Soros paid for it. I don't know. I'm just saying I saw it. I saw video. Because there's videos everywhere. So when I hear someone be like, there was violent, show me the video.
Yeah.
You tell me no one took video? It was a violent protest, no one took video?
Yeah, right.
All I see is cops beating up people. I posted on my thing, and I'm seeing things on the news where it's like NBC will be like live in Salt Lake City, and then you see a cop knock over an old guy, and it's like, what the, like, why'd you knock the guy over? You know what I mean? Like, I posted that on my page because it was just like, what are you doing? Like, look, obviously there's subtleties and nuances, but you're gonna have to come with a pretty strong case to tell me I'm wrong. You got to show some videos, man.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, hell, everybody got mad.
I see a white lady spray painting all cops are bastards while cops are standing there. I saw it.
Yeah.
You don't see that with black kids because as soon as they pull out the spray paint, they get beat up by the cops. Like, it's like pretty. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a different world. It is a different world, and
And
to say that it isn't,
Yeah.
then you don't have your eyes open. 'Cause
Even
it is different.
the comedian Dan Barry.
Oh yeah.
Did you see his post yesterday? He used to
No.
He used to work for I forget if it was water or electric, but he was a meter reader, and he would go around. He had to go to people's houses, read their meters, record it, and move on. He worked. His partner was a black guy. He said they had the same ID, the same uniform, the same equipment. He said it was a regular thing, almost a daily thing, where police were called to go question his partner as his partner's on one end of the block while Dan is on the other side of the block. Again, same equipment, same ID, same uniform. Never once was a cop called on him. Never, he said. This poor guy, people were calling saying there's a black man in my neighborhood. He even said that some people would call the company they worked for and said, I have no problem that you're reading my meter, but can you send somebody else? I don't want this guy here.
God.
Now, I mean, like you said, show video, but I'm just telling you what he said. But
look, that's I buy that.
Unfortunately, you would believe it. Yes.
We all saw the video of that lady in Central Park threatening to call the cops.
Yeah.
Because she knew that guy is scared of cops.
Right.
You can't threaten to call the cops on me. I'm like, I'll tell a cop to fuck off. I don't give a fuck.
Well, I won't do that.
I ran a few years, and we would park buses illegally. Stalls or 8 stalls.
Neil, you broke up. You ran a what for a few years?
A concert venue for a few years.
Okay.
And we would park the buses illegally across a few stalls. And most of the times it was fine. We would write the mayor and let him know we were doing it. And the cop would come up and be like, or...
Hang on. Sorry.
Yeah, maybe you're moving around too much. The last sentence.
Yeah,
missed.
we lost you again. Can you go back? Sorry about that. If you don't mind going back a little bit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The cop... Did you hear the cops would get called sometimes?
Yeah.
Yes.
So the cops would come sometimes, and they would say, you got to move the bus. And I would say, or... And they would say, we're going to write you a ticket. And I would say, well, then write the fucking ticket. I got work to do. Just like that, every time. Never once got beat up by the cops.
Right.
But I promise you.
Sorry. Sorry. We lost you after you said, I promise you, and then you were gone.
Nothing I say matters.
That's the next movement. Neil's life doesn't matter.
No matter. Neil's life, no matter.
Come on, I promise you what? If it was you're saying if
it was a black dude, you think a black dude's getting away with that attitude? No, it's because
Yeah.
I remember once a cop told me no right hair.
Yeah.
I've been beat up by the cops. It's not so bad.
Yeah, I mean
You'll find it arousing.
I can't imagine anyone not thinking that it's an issue, and I just hope we all do better from it, and learn from it and make it better. I know it sounds sappy, but it is an issue in America. It's a really big issue.
You're 100% right, man. We need to. I mean, all I know how to do is make jokes and piss people off, but hopefully, someone's out there trying to educate some people, because I don't have the patience for it.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Thank you, pal.
Coming to the end of our
show.
Thank you. So I really
As always.
appreciate hearing from you.
I'm eager to read the comments and what a libtard cuck I am.
No, actually, you had a lot of support. Actually.
No. It was
yeah?
good to hear
Absolutely. Yeah, a lot of support. And a lot of people just talking to each other, which is what we love.
Yeah, everything you say is from a heartfelt place, trying to help people. So yeah, thank you.
He's like, man, you have me all wrong.
I do not. Neil, thanks so much.
Before I was on, you were like, "Oh, I'm eager to hear it." Oh, I was like, that can't possibly be true.
So go to Neil's YouTube page where he's now reviewing The Wrong Missy. What the hell? I've never even heard of this movie.
Jared's in it.
Who?
Jared Sandler.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
And he steals it.
Really?
He steals his scenes. He's so good. He's so funny.
I hate.
He plays like a deadpan character. It's so good.
I'm gonna. I've been putting my foot in my mouth all day here, so I'm gonna do it again. I am not a David Spade fan. I don't like him one bit.
Yeah.
So I saw his face on this. I'm like, ah.
I don't love him in movies. I loved him in sitcoms.
Yeah, me
and
too.
I love him as a stand-up.
Yeah, no, so that's right. I
haven't
like
seen
him
his
stand up.
I'm a big.
Oh, okay.
I just think he's so clever. Like, yeah, I think he does a great job. I think he's really funny.
See, I respect your opinion on that, Neil. And now we're all peaceful, and we're gonna hug next time we see you. So check that out. The Wrong Missy. Neil reviews it. Go check it out on YouTube. NeilRubenstein.com, right?
Yeah, everything's there.
Good.
Yep.
There you go. Neil, and
Thank you so much.
hopefully soon we get you back in here and have some more fun with you,
Yeah,
man.
thank you, Neil. Always
Man,
a pleasure.
I want to breathe on both of you.
Nice.
And we'll do it live on the
real heavy.
radio.
Nice.
Thank you, pal.
Bye, Neil.
Neil Rubenstein, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. Neil Rubenstein, very funny guy. Well-spoken, unlike me. Just a great guy all around. All right, we're going to get out of here because Felix is getting ready. Iron Chef, COVID-19, coming at you at 12:30 here on govsradio.com. Quarantine Life at 2 o'clock with Steve K. from Steve Squared. Soul Space with Georgia tonight at 6:30. Graz is coming on tonight at 9. Don't forget Graz's Foodathon. I believe it's June 27th. They're going to be outside the club here at Governor's in Levittown collecting food and donations. Food is going to a food bank, and they're also going to try and help out some comedians that are a little hard on the luck right now, being that they haven't been able to sustain their livelihood. So keep it here at govsradio.com. Sallie and I will be back tomorrow. We have with us Jackson Gillies tomorrow. He'll be on that screen. Jackson was on American Idol, I believe it was this past season. He got bumped off early, but he's been with us a few times. Great guy. Hopefully we're going to get him to sing